Hi, I'm Yandre and welcome to Brink Designs. In this video, I'll show you how to assemble our GM screen. This is by far our most complex assembly, so pay close attention. You will need the following tools for this assembly. A narrow blade such as a hobby knife or a carpet knife, some good quality wood glue, a brush to apply your glue, as well as a surface to put your glue on. I would also suggest the following: a glass of water to clean your brush, some rubber bands of different sizes to keep parts together as they're drying, some sandpaper or a small file to clean parts, a pair of needle nose pliers for some of the smaller fiddly bits.
Because this build is meant for two different products, it is a little bit difficult to add the actual screens in the corner. Just have a look at the physical numbers. The sheets have the numbers engraved into one corner. We're starting off with the simplest part of the entire build, the simple drawers that fit into the GM screen. From here on onwards, it gets quite a bit more difficult to assemble. On parts such as these, using elastic bands helps to keep it together as the glue dries. If you only have the GM screen, you will notice there are several parts that do not look familiar. This is because I used the game box sheets to assemble this product rather than the standalone GM screen, but the parts that you use are exactly the same. When assembling this part, ensure that the small protrusions caused by part 8 sticks outwards, as they are necessary for the part to lock in place when open. Parts 9 and 13 are mirror images of one another. They are listed as separate parts as there is one side that looks better than the other one, and it is intended for this side to be on the outside. Be careful to not apply glue to these two parts, as that will prevent them from moving in the way that they are meant to. There are 4 parts 21. These 4 parts are identical. As a result, I've indicated every sheet on which they appear. It is easier to use the same sheet as the one that they will end up with in order to not confuse yourself later. When gluing on parts 27 and 28, take note of the notch in part 28 and make sure that it aligns with a notch in part 22. Otherwise, the parts won't be able to pivot later on in the build. Take note with parts 38 and 39, while they serve a similar purpose, they do have distinctive spots. 39 goes at the bottom, 38 with the slight angles goes at the top to allow you to still get your pages in and out easily. At the bottom of the swiveling screen, part number 40 sits below part number 41. First, allow all parts to dry completely before continuing with these steps. If you don't, there is a risk that the glue can still be wet and glue together parts that you actually want to move around. When gluing on the hinges, it is easier to glue together all the hinge parts onto one screen first and then glue it onto the second screen, rather than gluing the hinge parts onto the individual screens and then try and bring them together. Take note when gluing in the pegs, part 50, you do want to have the pegs glued in securely, but you want to be careful to not get any glue in on the moving parts. This will glue the hinge shut, preventing you from opening and closing the GM screen as intended. finished gluing together your GM screen, give it sufficient time for the glue to dry, usually around 24 hours before using it for the first time. Also note, the first couple of times you use it, the parts might be a little bit stiff, but they do wear in quite quickly.